R-O-K, Tabin.
R-O-K.
R-O-K, Tabin.
R-O-K, Tabin.
R-O-K, Tabin. You know, I want to talk to you about your turkeys real fast before we get the show going.
I hate that you say my turkeys, but yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I know. There, a bunch of turkeys running around your house, but do you know what a group of turkeys is called?
I don't.
Besides irritating?
Besides irritating and really painful? No, besides that, I don't know.
Well, it's not a flock. It's called a rafter.
A rafter?
A rafter of turkeys.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And in the 70s, it was called a jive.
Really?
Yes, because they were jive turkeys.
Wow, that's just craziness right now.
That's crazy, isn't it? No, yeah, right.
Speaking of crazy, I was reading, there was an article the other day. Did you hear about the guy who evaporated? Well, he was missed.
Oh, on that note, I think the music should swell and we should get the show on the road.
Swelling is eroding or something. I don't even know what that means.
The swelling is eroding? No, that's not good. That's not good. Well, greetings, salutations, hello, Moobarkfluff, and hooray! Welcome to our little corner of the web, and welcome to all the listening creatures in the Podiverse. I am barely normal, and I'm not an Argonaut. We'll talk about that later. And with me is that I'm going to say this word, Brobdignagianly popular pup.
What
yes.
Is that? Oh.
Brobdignagian means large and huge and immense.
It's an actual word. Okay.
It is an actual word. Brobdignagian. Yes.
Okay. Well,
CEU
and learned.
And that Brobdignagianly popular pup. Tabin, how the fluff are you, Tabin?
Well, I am now more educated by that. And other than that, I am okay. And how are you, Mr. Barely?
Well, I'm somewhat better. I mean, obviously, I was rushed to get in today to the studio because, things were happening and mother unit was been in the hospital for the last 11 days, and they decided to kick her out at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I got the phone call, and it's like, they're gonna discharge me. I said, when? Because it's like 2 hours till I have to record. It's like, I don't know. So of course at 5:05 at 4:40 I get the phone call. We're on their way down. It's like, okay, so I rushed out, and of course she's like, we have to stop and get my medication. It's like, okay.
Oh no.
Not that I'm trying to get somewhere by 6 o'clock, but
okay. Good.
But okay.
You made it.
Yeah, I did make it, and I'm all set for my epic motorcycle ride through the wilds of Oregon next week.
Are you excited?
I am excited. Yeah. I actually return. This episode drops on the day of my return.
Oh.
So I will tell all our listeners about it in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, you'll hear about my epic motorcycle ride.
We're excited. And, we wait with bated tailies.
Well, that's because many listeners know we record these shows 10 days in advance of release. So, and to plug you for next week, I'm going to plug you, Tabin. I'm going to plug you in, make you into a lamp.
I'm a lamp.
Well, yes. You'll be hosting with none other than that funny bunny, Renegade Roo.
Yes, it's exciting.
Now, why bunny? I'm confused. Why bunny? Why is that a thing?
Did you forget?
I did forget.
So, I mean,
Well, I might not have forgotten, but other listeners might not know why a Renegade Roo is a bunny.
Well, any fur that has seen Roo's Twitter at all knows that every fur calls him a bunny because he's like this big, huge bunny-looking thing. That's
okay. Even though he's a kangaroo.
But he looks like a big bunny. He hops and he has big ears and
big floppy ears.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, there you go. Do you? Yes.
Yes. I have a few things. So one goes like this.
Of course you do.
New York, big city of dreams, and everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You might find people that come from out of town, buy down. I know my way around. Too much. That's too many people. Too much. So that's a thing.
What was that for?
Why did you do that to us for?
Why did you do that to us?
Like, Sometimes like songs that I haven't heard in a really long time for whatever reason, like
Yeah.
pop into my brain and I remember the words and I don't know how I even remember the words because I haven't heard it in forever. And that
Okay.
was a song, turns out by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Big city of dreams, but everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You might look cool if you come from out of town, but I'm down by law and I know my way around too much. Too many people, too much.
That's one thing that happened just now and
Okay.
this morning. So question for you, and I think we've actually talked about this, but it's a question that came up the other day. How high would you have to count before you read the letter A in, like, if you write out the words? 1, 2, 3.
How high would I have to
Yeah,
count?
like what's the first number you would get that has the letter A in the word for the number?
I don't know. That's kind of an interesting math tidbit, which we're going to talk about some tidbits later. But I don't. You've talked about this
I
before.
feel like we have, but I
You
didn't remember.
have, but I don't. It's like it's in the hundreds or something, isn't it?
It's 1,000 actually.
One
It's the first one,
thousand.
yeah.
Yeah, because sand, a thou sand. Yes,
1,000. And how
a
high
thou
would you
sand.
have to count before you hit the letter O?
Uh, four,
Not
one,
no
two,
one. Not very.
one. Yeah, not very far at all.
And how
Zero, I
how
guess.
far
Yeah.
in the alphabet would you have to go before you get the letter 7, the number 7?
What? What? You don't get numbers in the alphabet?
So you'd be going for right. Very good.
Mhm.
And I have one more question for you.
Okay, hurry up.
How often
One
do
more.
you empty the lint trap in your dryer?
How every time I put a load of laundry in.
Good for you. Me too. Okay, you
Okay.
ding 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 sound. You got that one right.
Well, and here's an interesting tidbit of information about dryer lint.
Oh,
It's very flammable.
yeah.
So if you're a camper, if you take some like a handful of dryer lint and put it in a plastic bag and take it with you camping, that's an instant fire starter when you're camping.
That is an interesting tidbit. I did not know.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you really want to go fancy wancy,
Yeah.
take some paraffin wax, get an old tuna can, put the lint in there, and then pour the wax over it. So then you get this little wax cube that's all linty and it just catches on fire and burns for a really long time to start your stuff on fire.
Wow.
There you go.
CEU,
Dun, 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 dun.
another dun 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 CEU earned.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
And do you empty your dryer lint?
just like you, every single time I do a load of
Ah.
laundry with my posies, and
And what do you do with the lint?
I throw it away. But apparently, I should be keeping it.
Well, if you have a fireplace and you need a fire starter and you don't have a gas thing, then yes, keep it.
That would do
It makes wonderful. Alex, my husband, keeps a bag of it in his backpack for backpacking
Oh,
trips when
nice.
he's camping.
Very
So-
interesting. Very interesting.
When I first handed it to him, he says, "What's this?" I said, "It's dryer lint." He says, "What for?" I says, "Oh, let's see how flammable it is." And I showed him. He says, "Wow, that'd be a great fire starter." I said, "Yes, that's why I'm putting it
That's
in a
why
bag
I'm-
for you to take with you on your trip."
Interesting how all that works. Yes.
Interesting? Yes, it is. Do you have a challenge for our furs this week?
I
We haven't had a
do.
challenge in a while.
I do. We haven't. And so it goes like this. Kind of, I guess, the New York thing kind of going off that, but it goes bo,
Mhm.
bo, 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 skiwatin, dottin, doo, doo, diddle, and a kitty in the middle. Actually, with the kitty in the middle. So let me do that again. Bo, bo, bo,
Okay.
bo, bo, skiwatin, dottin, doo, doo, diddle with the kitty in the middle. That's how it goes. And
Okay.
that's from a song. And actually, the
Okay.
whole Mana Mana thing. It's not part of that Mana Mana song, but it's like it's all in one big song. So it's like Mana Mana do 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 Mana Mana do, and then part of it is the bo 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 thing. So the challenge is to find out what band that is by and to tell us
Oh.
the song. I think it's a ska band. I'm not exactly sure.
Hmm.
So I was trying
Okay.
to find, and this challenge came about because I was trying to find who did this. And if you go on and search, you get Bobo Boski Watten Dotten, but it's like this little clappy game song. It's like a challenge to do this clappy game thing, and it's like a kid thing.
Yeah, it's a camp song.
Oh, is it?
Bodo skidit and get and quad out and chew. It's skiddly out and dote and bodo skidit and dat and quad out and chew.
I think there's a lot of bo things because that's not the one that I saw
Yes.
on the internet. The one on the
okay.
internet had like you do it with a partner and there's like clapping and things and it's
Oh
like
yeah,
a good challenge thing.
it's the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but that's not this song. I
Okay,
couldn't
all
find
right.
the song. So the challenge is to find the song. Okay. I'll
Okay,
stop now.
I'll
I will
find the song.
stop.
Speaking of camp songs, which we kind of were, and it's not on our agenda of things to talk about, but let's talk about it anyway. I have a camp song that I remembered in my brain from very, very, very long ago, and I would like to. It's an audience participation. So,
Oh.
Rayne, unmute yourself.
Unmic my mute.
Yes, and you guys are to repeat after me. Are you ready?
I am
Ready.
ready.
One fat hen.
One fat hen.
One fat hen and a couple of ducks.
One fat hen
hen
and a couple of ducks. We do this in unison? Is that what we're...
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. One fat hen and a couple of ducks. 3 baby brown bears.
One fat
hen and a couple of ducks.
And
3 baby brown bears.
What he said.
Yeah. One fat hen and a couple of ducks. 3 baby brown bears. 4 rabbit running hares.
One fat hen and a couple of ducks.
And ducks.
3 baby brown bears.
Bears.
And a couple of fat
And
running hares.
Fat running hares. We did it.
All right. Let's go a little further. One fat hen and a couple of ducks. 3 baby brown bears. 4 rabbit running hares. 5 fat fidgety felines.
5 fat fidgety felines.
There you go.
What he said.
Okay, well, next one. One fat hen and a couple of ducks. 3 baby brown bears, 4 rabbit running hares, 5 fat fidgety felines, 6 Simple Simons selling salt from Siam.
Oh my cow. What is that? Yeah.
All right, let's just try 6 altogether. 6 Simple Simons selling salt from Siam.
6
Simple Simons selling salt from Siam.
That.
There you go. All right. One fat hen and a couple of ducks. 3 baby brown bears, 4 rabbit running hares, 5 fat fidgety felines, 6 Simple Simons selling salt from Siam, 7 slimy sailors sniffing snooze.
7 slimy sailors
I'm out. I am out. This pup is done.
Okay. One fat hen and a couple of ducks, 3 baby brown bears, 4 rabbit running hares, 5 fat fidgety felines, 6 Simple Simons selling salt from Siam, 7 slimy sailors sniffing snooze, 8 elongated elephants elevated on an elevator.
All right, no. I'm
Yeah,
done.
okay.
I'm done.
All right. Okay. One fat hen and a couple of ducks, 3 baby brown bears, 4 rabbit running hares, 5 fat fidgety felines, not females, 6 Simple Simons selling salt from Siam, 7 slimy sailors snooping snooze, 8 elongated elephants elevator on escalator, 9 nimble nosed nimbriolas nibbling on 9 nimbriola nibble yachts, and 10 two-ton transcontinental trucks traveling from Tallahassee, Tennessee to Tyler, Texas on 22 terrible tires and 2 tanks of Texaco. There you go.
I will take your word for it. Don't make me sing white and nerdy at you.
Okay, it's like somebody said to me the other day. I was talking to somebody from a long buddy from camp, and he says, "Do you remember the One Fat Hen song?" And I just rambled it right off just like that. And he was like, "Wow, that was a 40-year memory right there." I was like, "Yes, it was." So
wow, 40-year memory. So all you furs, I think we are just proven who is the star of the fandom.
I think when you're doing your songs or your story time, I should jump up and get the whole audience to try and do that with me.
There you go. There you go.
That'd be kind of fun. Yeah. Especially with you in the background doing weird things behind me. So anyway.
While you're doing that, I'll sing 12 Days of Pupmas while you're doing
Pupmas,
that.
there you
And that'll it might confuse a few furs. So
it might confuse a few. So let's get to the past today.
okay.
Okay, so last week you told everybody you had a bat in the house. And
I did.
You were very scared from the bat.
Yes.
Now, do you know that there are lots of myth and legends about having a bat in your house?
I did not. Should I be scared?
You could be. Has anything bad happened to you in the last week?
No, actually,
Okay.
only good things.
Okay. Well, then you have landed on the good side of the bat in the house omen, and that is that you were given the strength to face something bad or difficult.
Oh, good for me. Good for me.
So and that the Great Spirit has bestowed the bat as your spirit animal.
Oh.
So Tabin really is now Batty. Yeah.
Woo.
Or, of course, they could have just been simply following a bug into the house to try and catch it, and that's how they got in the house. But
One of the two.
we'll say that it was the harbinger of goodness to your thing. So,
Okay, to my thing.
to your thing, yes.
Nice.
So, the Hollywood sign, we talked about that last week,
Hmm.
and I said it blew down in a storm. I was mistaken. That was a story I heard once long ago, but the true story is that the Hollywood sign, America's favorite collection of 45-foot tall letters that spell out Hollywood, has gone through its fair share of changes since it was first erected on Mount Lee. Don't Mount Lee, he might not like it, in Los Angeles in 1923. It was almost lost forever in the 1970s as environmental wear and tear and vandalism, darn vandalisms, took their toll. But the sign was rescued and restored to its original state, the way it was, not the state that it was in, because it was always been in California. Yeah, in 1978. Well, almost its original state. The landmark used to have 4 additional letters, which I talked about. It used to say Hollywood Land,
Oh, yeah.
and which we talked, that was in the trivia question. While the sign has become synonymous with show business, it began as an advertisement for a suburban subdivision. So
Okay.
interesting. A real estate developer, Harry Chandler, broke ground on his upscale Hollywood land development in March of 1923. Later that year, he invested some $21,000. That's cheap.
21,000?
Yeah. It's expensive back in 1923, but that was back then. It was very expensive.
It's also the first time you get the letter A.
That's true. Each of the original 13 letters was 30 feet wide and approximately 43 feet tall, constructed of 3-foot by 9-foot metal squares rigged together by an intricate frame of scaffolding pipes, wires, and telephone poles.
Ooh.
All of this material was dragged up the precipitous Mount Lee by laborers on simple dirt paths. There was no mechanical stuff to get that all up there. They all took it up there by
Oh,
hand.
my.
So it was supposed to stay up for a year and a half, but it remained for decades and deteriorated to a bedraggled mess in the 40s because it had become such a recognizable feature of the emerging industry town. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce and the Los Angeles Parks Department, upon whose land the sign sat, agreed to restore the sign, but removed the land suffix. So there you go.
Oh, my cow.
Right? We're learning a lot
That
today.
is-
Green Acres. I asked our first to try and tell us who the male lead in Green Acres was. It was Eddie Albert.
Did some actually respond?
No.
Oh.
I looked it up.
Okay.
But they might
Right,
between now and
that episode hasn't come out yet. Okay.
that hasn't come out yet, right? It's exciting. So there we go. And that show ran from 1965 to 1971, and it was
Oh.
very sexist and very it was this product of its times. You know, you are my wife, you will. But I've never seen a farmer wear a 3-piece suit to do farming. But Eddie Albert did that all the time in that show. Now, Zeppelins and blimps.
There's a
We talked
lot of
about that.
past. Oh, my cow.
There is, for me anyway. I don't know what's on for you, but the
Oof.
Zeppelins and blimps last week. So I talked about the main difference being the gas used in the Zeppelin. Zeppelins usually use hydrogen, but it can be any lighter than air gas. A Zeppelin actually comes from the Luftschichtenecht manufacturing company in Germany, and that is a Zeppelin. Whatever they use, whether they make it a blimp or a rigid airship, or anything, that's still called a Zeppelin because it was made by that company. So a blimp gets its shape from, basically it's an airbag. When it fills up with helium, that's the shape it gets because of the way the material is. A Zeppelin and a rigid airship have structures inside it, and then it stays the same size. Stays the same size. I'm talking like Sean Connery again. Stays the same size, whether it's full of gas or not. Now, the captain may be full of gas. Now, you may know the most prolific blimp in America, and what would that be?
The Goodwill.
The Goodyear.
Goodyear.
The Goodyear
The
blimp.
Goodwill.
Yes. All right. Oddly enough, the Goodyear blimp is no longer a blimp. They replaced all of their blimps with rigid airships. Their fleet of, I think they have 25 now, but all of them are rigid airships, and they can use hydrogen or any lighter than air gas to fill them up.
Well, and you know what's really amazing about all that is if you do not have a blimp, but you have the other, then you've got a stairway to Germany.
You got a Stairway to Germany. That's right. Now, did you happen to dig
was
in and
dumb.
find the
That was
Jason and
so
the
dumb.
Argonauts?
It was so dumb.
It was so dumb. I'm just going to move on and ask you a question. Did you watch Jason and the Argonauts at all?
I found a clip.
Okay. What did you think of the stop action?
So the clip I found was
Yes.
the skeleton fight scene. It's just like the little
Yes.
2.5 minutes.
That's the classic. That's the classic scene. Yes.
That's probably why that's like the only clip that came up, I guess.
Mhm.
It was very painful to watch.
It was very
It's like
painful to watch. Yes.
so you know what I'm gonna say. It was so slow. So like the skeletons one at a time came out of the ground, and there were like 10 of them or something. And
Right.
one would come out, and then the scene would like you'd see the Argonauts like in disbelief, and then you go watch
Mhm.
the next one rise, and then you go the same scene with the Argonauts, and then another,
Yep.
and you do that for like 10 hours it seemed. And wow. But then so finally once they all came out and they started stepping forward at a creeping pace.
Yes.
They take a few
Yes.
steps forward, and then the camera would pan to the Argonauts, and you'd see them take a few steps back. Then the camera would pan to the few steps forward, and then a few. And this went like 5 times. Like there's another 10 million hours I'm not going to get back.
Right. Yep.
But then finally the skeletons attacked, and it was actually funny cute when they did, because then all of a sudden they waved their little skeleton arms around, and it was cute when they waved their little skeleton arms around, and then they attacked, and then it was like a stupid fight scene, and it was dumb. So that's what I saw with Jason and the Argonauts.
Yes.
It was very interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Very interesting. Very interesting. So the Jason and the Argonauts is based on the Greek myth of Jason and the Golden Fleece,
Oh.
which is a classic Greek story of betrayal, loyalty, vengeance, brother killing brother. And like all good Greek tragedies, everything happens like that. And there was also a TV miniseries of Jason and the Argonauts made in the year 2000.
Oh,
So
really?
they tried to revamp it. Still, they didn't do a very good job, but they tried to revamp it. I feel like they should do it a lot better now, the way we
don't
have
think
computer
so.
animation. It would be so much better now. So that's all of my past today, rehashing everything from last week. What do you have, Mr. T?
My only
T-Bin. Mr. T-Bin.
And what was that word? The blumptuous?
The Blumchuash. No, Brobdingnagian.
Oh my cow. My only pass today was to talk about Jason and the Argonaut skeleton fight scene. So you helped in traversing that land and doing that or something.
I segued you in.
You segued me in.
Segue.
Segue.
Not the little thing that you ride around on, but the type is a segue.
They see me roll on my Segway.
Segway.
You know,
Yep.
they all think I'm so white and nerdy. Okay. Oh my cow.
So,
Okay.
so let's get to That's Just Stupid, because once again,
There's more. I can't
have
believe
found-
it. That is, well, I guess I could believe it. I mean, there's so
Right.
much.
Are you stupid or something?
Stupid is, stupid does, sir.
All right, so we're going to start in Georgia,
Okay.
where a Georgia woman was charged with faking a pregnancy to get paid time off. A woman in Georgia was recently charged with faking a pregnancy to gain time off and identity fraud. If convicted, she could face up to 25 years in prison and a $103,000 fine. Her motivation was to gain 7 weeks of paid leave from her employer. However, she was not very smart in that she wore a fake baby bump, but didn't wear it well enough that her coworkers did notice that it was fake. And,
okay.
you know, she would sit down and readjust it.
And
It's like you don't readjust a baby bump when it's a real baby bump.
Okay.
Um,
Good. Nice. Very nice.
I mean, if you're going to go to these lengths, then do it right. Okay.
And keep going, but I'm away for just a second.
So let's talk a little bit about billboard cheese. Yes, billboard cheese. A Canadian man who found a food item in his fridge that he was moving into a new apartment. It was a single string cheese left in the refrigerator. And he decided that he would use it to trade things. So he wanted to get rid of it. And he placed a billboard ad in a very busy financial district with a picture of the string cheese saying, "I will trade for anything. Get a hold of me." And guess what? Offers have flooded in. He has gotten so many offers. Some of the strange things, somebody offered him a cat. Someone offered him a different piece of cheese. And the weirdest one was somebody offered him their girlfriend. Said, take my girlfriend, I'll take your cheese. But he has decided not to accept any of those offers. He's still waiting for the best offer to come in. And clearly this is a man with a very large disposable income, because he would not disclose how much it cost him to take out this ad on this billboard in a busy financial district of Toronto. So I guess, guy with the cheese, if you've got some money you want to throw our way, since you got money to burn, send me a check. I'm happy to cash it in American dollars, please. Okay, so we're gonna go from cheese to sausage. You never saw such a great star. A French scientist posted a picture on Twitter of a chorizo slice on a black background, saying it was a picture of Proxima Centauri, the closest star to our sun. He was, of course, berated for such a prank, but he said it was a teachable moment so that people should question things that come from authorities. The star was probably the tastiest celestial body in the cosmos.
In the cosmos, indeed. Craziness.
And now, time for some naked time. We go back to Florida, where crazy things happen, as you know.
Of course.
Florida always seems to make it into this. A naked man tried to steal the clothes off another man by throwing a machete at him. The victim was hit by the handle of the machete and uninjured. But of course, once the perpetrator was disarmed, there was no reason for it to give in to his demands. And clearly he wasn't carrying any concealed weapons, so the suspect ran away, and the person that was the victim did not give up any of his clothes. And the naked truth is, don't be stupid. And that is the news of the stupid for the day.
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
Wow, that's quite a, like, it never ceases to amaze. Always, like, every week you've got, like, not just one little thing, you've got a lot of things every week. So that's
I know,
crazy.
right?
And
I have a question. Did he keep the machete?
He turned it over to law enforcement.
oh, good for him. Good for him.
Yes. Yeah.
I have two very stupid jokes that I made up that I wanted to follow all that stupidity by.
All right, then. Well, go ahead with
Okay.
our stupidity jokes.
I made these up so every fur, I just want you to know the stupidity is on me, no one else. So the first one, and I didn't refine it, but it's something along the lines of a carrot and a broccoli go bowling, and there's a slim green vegetable in the alley next to them. The slim green vegetable doesn't get a strike, but he gets all 10 pins down on the second roll. So he says, asparagus.
Oh.
Did-
Asparagus.
Asparagus. And he says,
Mhm.
slim green. Okay, so I made that up, and
It's-
it was stupid. Another stupid thing I made up.
Actually, that was a pretty good
Was
joke.
it? Oh,
you
yeah,
made that up?
Yeah, good for
You
me.
made that up? Okay.
I'm so proud of myself. Okay, we'll see how this next one goes. I made this one up
Okay.
too. How do potatoes grow?
Just fine.
Actually, they grow tired of ants walking all over them.
What?
I made it up and it was dumb. Okay, so that's that.
How does one potate?
I have no. You sit there.
You just sit there and you potate. All right. Shall we get to furries in the news?
Oh, I have. Oh, wait, I see.
Or do you have
were
more?
waiting. Yeah, that wasn't my few facts that's in the notes right there. So I do. I have a few facts.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
And we should have got to media, not furries in the news. Sorry.
We almost did that. Oh, things are so crazy.
We almost
oh my
did it
cow.
again.
Oh,
I know. I always
cow.
want to skip over media. I don't know why.
Media. So, okay. So, first fact is, I found out that you call two barracuda fish. They're not barracuda. Barracuda fish. You know the barracuda fish. Well, two of them.
I know the barracudas too. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we know them all. Two barracuda fish are called a paracuda.
A paracuda. Okay. Yes.
Okay, and the
I hear the crickets. The crickets are blowing.
And the other fact is that I found out that on a remote island, what you do is you try and find the TV island that it belongs to.
TV
So
Island.
speaking of media, let's do that.
Speaking of media, all right. So I watched Lightyear,
Oh, okay.
the Pixar film about Buzz Lightyear.
Infinity
I was,
and Beyond, indeed.
I know I was chilling there and flipping through. It's like, oh, Lightyear's on Disney. So I turned it on. of course, it starts out with, in 19 blah 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 blah. The boy, whatever his name was, Andy, got a Buzz Lightyear action figure
Yeah.
based on his favorite movie. This was that movie,
And
so it's kind of fun to. Yeah.
Snap, yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it?
Also, Blonde. It was good. I liked it. It was
Okay.
fun. Tim Allen did not voice Buzz Lightyear.
Oh.
Someone else did, but
Did
I think it
did
was
Eva
Chris
Gabor
Evans, maybe.
do the
Eva
voice?
Gabor did
Oh,
not.
she did. Oh,
she's
okay.
she's long dead. Yeah.
Oh,
If
okay.
she was voicing Buzz Lightyear, it would sound like this. So there you go. It'd be a very short movie.
Okay, and it was like an hour and a half movie or something. So, okay.
Also, Blonde Foxy, a shout out to Blondie, came to visit last week, and he brought down a really bad B movie starring Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Called. It's about a volcano that erupts in downtown Los Angeles. Can you guess what the title was or is?
I can, because I know this movie.
And what's it called?
Volcano.
Oh, and it's so bad. Oh, it's such a bad movie.
Well,
I mean,
the
science does not even start to be radically correct. It is so wrong on so many levels.
And this movie scared me, and I had to leave the theater, or the scratch that, not theater, because I'm not that old to do that. So scratch that. I had to leave the room because I couldn't watch the rest of it. I mean, the other people in the room finished watching it, but it was like, it scared me.
It scared you?
I'm a scaredy pup.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just basically an hour of things exploding, which shouldn't have exploded in the first place.
Oh, well, I couldn't finish. I couldn't get
science.
like 20 minutes in or something. Whenever the thing started, I don't know.
Oh.
I couldn't leave. But of course, I did that. With that movie, Independence Day with
Will.
With Will, yeah. I couldn't finish that either. I was scaredy pup.
You don't like scary movies, then?
I'm
Apparently.
a scaredy pup. No, I do not like scary movies, even if they're really horrible 80s B-rated movies with Tommy Lee Jones. I don't do good with them. No.
Okay.
I like Tommy Lee Jones though.
Yeah, I also started watching a show on Netflix called Sandman, which is based on the comic of the same name, and it's dark, but it's good. I have to say it's very, very
scary?
good. It's not scary.
Okay, so I can do.
It's not
I'll
scary.
be okay.
It's a paranormal psychological type thriller.
Okay, interesting.
So it's not like things exploding and heads blowing up and things like that. So yeah,
that's always a plus when that does not
always
happen.
a plus when heads are not blowing up. Yes, which is like on The Boys, heads blow up every episode on The Boys. So because that's the only way they off characters is to make them explode.
Well, I mean, sometimes that's the only way.
It's the only way. Make your characters explode. What have you, my puppy friend, been watching?
Well, we're still watching, 24, the amazing Rayne. What do you think of 24?
I loved it when I first saw it.
Nice, but you saw the
years.
You saw the first season.
Yes, because I was working at at a Fox television station when it came out.
Nice.
And
so you kind of had to.
I had to watch it because
so they got to watch it for free.
Yes.
Nice. Very good.
We all got to watch it for free.
We all got to watch it for free, but I had to watch it. I got paid to watch it.
Even better. You got negative. You didn't pay for it. You got negative paying for it because you got
paid.
Yeah. It was a enjoyable way to spend my lunchies during work.
Oh, it's so
very cool.
So good. Anyway, we're still watching that, and still watching. Or no, we finished The Real O'Neills. We got through the second season, and we've talked about this before. It's done after second season, and I thought it was a good end. It was. It obviously ended that they were hoping that there'd be another season, but it didn't end on a cliffhanger, so it ended fine. We started watching a show called Surviving Summer. Have you heard of this show, Barely?
Have not.
It's set in Australia. It's about but you can actually understand them. Sometimes you have to listen really closely, but still. And it's about, I think it's 2022. It's a really new thing. It's Netflix. And Summer is a girl. So it's Surviving Summer. And her name is Summer, but
Ah.
it's about, so Summer is this girl, New York girl that like gets thrown out of school and is, I think the description goes, exiled from all the schools she attends. So she's like naughty and everything. And so she gets sent to live with, I didn't quite catch exactly the relationship, but like some relatives or something in Australia. And there's it's so the first few episodes, it was like, okay, it's good. My honey, I think, liked it more than I did. It was good. It kept my attention. I kept watching. But we just watched the 4th episode today, and actually, it's pretty good. It's holding my attention. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's only 1 season so far. There's lots of surfing. It's not like a surfing movie where that's like the whole main idea of the show, but it's like part of, that's what they do in this little town in Australia is surf. So there's a lot of surfing. That's that show. And then I've continued watching Samurai Rabbit, the Usagi Chronicles for lunchies. It's still, Bunny is irritatingly like arrogant and impulsive and irritating, but you know, I still watch it anyway. I'm still liking it, but there's that about him. So that's what I've been watching. Now, I wanted to
Okay.
talk about a show that I think I might have talked about in a previous episode. Rayne, you have a good memory about what we do on the show, so maybe you'll remember too. But I
Okay.
wanted to talk again, I guess. Have you seen it's from 1983, an animated show called Rock and Rule?
I have not seen it. I've heard of it.
I've not heard of it or
Then
seen
maybe,
it.
maybe I didn't talk about this on the show. So, yes, it's 1983. It features song. It's it's an actual movie, hour and a half or something, and it's animated. It features songs by Cheap Trick, Earth, Wind and Fire, and Blondie. It sings there's a main character, and she sings throughout the show. And Blondie, Debbie Harry, sings for her and everything.
Now for all you'll ever know that you've never seen me, and someday you're gonna show what your wild desire means.
The show takes place in post-apocalyptic United States, populated by mutant humanoid animals. So I thought,
Okay.
for an 80s thing, it's I like it. It's pretty good. I mean, I saw it a while ago, but it's I mean, it's a cheesy 80s animated thing, but it's it's kind of furry and it's interesting. I recommend taking a watch, and then give it back. And so one of the things is it's post-apocalyptic and everything. So at one point they go to Nuke York, is the name of the state.
Nuke York.
Nuke York.
Okay.
But you've got a lot of anthropomorphic rats and things running around, and some of the songs are actually kind of good, actually. So I kind of recommend, just if you have nothing else to do, watch that. It's a good, as I say, shout out to the 80s thing. I'll just stop talking now about that.
Well, in that case, I think we should get to furries in the news.
Okay, Rayne, you introduce me with barely just introduced it, but let's hear what Rayne has to say about what I'm about to do.
Okay, so every fur, what Tabin's about to do is
Stupid.
some would consider a crime against furmanity.
Yes.
Some would consider it
Yes.
a mating call for some wild animal. But what we consider is furries in the news. Take it away, Tabin.
Arian, your faces. You first should see their faces. Arian,
Well, I certainly can't top that.
I don't.
Oh,
I think I just electrocuted my microphone with all the spitting.
Wow. Okay. So
So how do you get?
I don't even know how to start.
don't even
I'm speechless.
Oh.
Anyway, right off the top of the news, Denver Furcon removed Pepper Coyote from performing after he attended a rally flying pro-Putin flags.
Oh yeah, I saw in the Denver chat there was some
Yeah,
stuff
so
about this.
Pepper Coyote, of course, is no stranger to controversy,
Or
nor is he any
politics,
stranger to
right.
politics or things like that. And he has tried on numerous occasions to keep his furry life and his political life separate, but they have since
Has he? Wow.
and often they often
Yeah.
collide and cause problems. In response to the videos and tweets made by the musician himself that showed him in attendance at a Center for Political Innovation assembly in Chicago over the weekend of August 6th. The group describes itself as an anti-imperialist organization. The CPI, as it's known, led the meet by flying flags, which included their infamous Z insignia that is being utilized by the Russian forces occupying the country of Ukraine. The CPI Twitter account retweets regularly from sources that Twitter has denoted as Russian state-affiliated media. And because of that, the folks at Denver have decided that they really don't want Pepper there to represent that kind of a stuff, which is too bad because he's a great musician, has great songs. And I suppose at some point, Pepper, if you're listening, you kind of separate the two, or things are going to go bad all the way around. We love you, Pepper. We love you a lot, but
things.
So gotta be.
Maybe if we want to get really crazy, we'll have him on again. So all you've heard is Pepper has been on our show before, and it was great times.
Yep.
I forget which episode.
And it was right after he was involved with another controversy at the same time. Yes.
It was right after. Oh, what was that controversy? See, I forgot already.
Oh, God only knows.
Rayne, do you remember?
But
yeah, it was over vaccinations, if I remember.
Oh, vaccinations.
Yeah.
That's
and it
right.
was like a big. First, we're taking what he said wrong. Anyway, so all you first listen to Pepper talk on whichever episode that was. I guess drop that in the chat or something. I don't know. Anyway, listen to that. And Pepper, come defend yourself again, I guess, on our show.
I guess, defend yourself. Use our platform to help your platform.
There you go.
Anyway, so there is a new Furcon.
Oh, yeah.
Coming to Las Vegas in 2023.
Is it like the same weekend as BLFC?
No, it is not.
Oh, good.
This is in April. So,
okay.
April in Las Vegas, which is a beautiful time to be in Las Vegas, actually.
Oh.
It's run by a trans and POC-led board.
Oh, very cool.
POC stands for
Person of Color.
Person of Color, yes. And they kind of threw this together at last minute, and they their article says, given the relatively short time frame of 8 months to organize this convention, and God bless them, organizing a convention in
like
8 months.
A Furcon, that's amazing.
Right? Yeah. So their art department is coming up with a new logo with all sorts of stuff, and it's going to be at it's April 14th through the 16th, 2023, at the Alexis Park Resort. Now, I don't know where that is in Las Vegas, but we will look it up, and we will be talking about it, I'm sure, as it gets closer and we talk about upcoming events.
And what is this new con called?
It's called the Las Vegas Furcon.
Oh, very descriptive. Okay,
very
nice.
descriptive. Yes, nothing great, nothing special. Just Las Vegas Furcon.
The only way they could get more like descriptive is if they called it the Las Vegas Furcon, April 14th to 16th, 2023, at the Alexis Park Resort, and that would be pretty good. That would be pretty good.
And that is all I have for furries in the news. Do you have anything, Tabin?
I have lots of things.
Okay. Anything for furries in the news?
Oh, for that? Oh no, in that case, no. But
okay.
I just have lots of things.
Lots of things. I have lots of things too. I own a lot of things because remember, he who dies with the most things wins. Are we going to upcoming events now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this week, registration opened.
Hi.
This week, just the Painted Desert Furcon registration opened up this week. Registration starts at a mere $65 for attending.
It's like a kitty.
All the way up.
It's like a kitty because it's mirror.
What?
A meerkat.
A meerkat.
Oh,
A
that's
meerkat.
stupid.
Oh,
That's
right.
just stupid. I don't know.
Oh, wow, that was a reach. That was
A
a
little bit,
reach
little bit.
and a grab.
And
So,
then a throw
or
down.
you could go all the way up to $450 to attend Painted Desert Fur Con
Whoa!
for the super patron level of attendee.
Whoa!
Now, not sure what you get for super patron, but they should give you a cape,
They give you a shirt and a
I'm
vacuum
sure.
cleaner.
right? Yes, and a paintbrush
And-
because it's the painted desert, so you can paint. Yes,
The whole desert.
and of course, our weekly plug for Get Out the Float in Seaside, Oregon, coming up in October. And the reason we're plugging this is because it's another new con, and we're going, and we think it's going to be a lot of fun. So be sure you be there. And all of the BFFT staff will be there and having a great time.
Rayne, are you excited
Now-
for it?
I am very excited for it because I am going to be DJing at my first con.
Nice. Very
Yay!
excited.
So
Very excited.
that should be a lot of fun, or
a lot of misery.
It
I
should be a
guess.
lot of misery.
A lot
I'm
of
not
misery, yeah.
Sure. We'll see.
We'll
All
see.
you first
Yes.
have to come
I'm-
to Get Out the Float and find out
Yes.
this Rayne. Are we miserable or are we excited and wagging? We'll see.
I think we'll be- I think we'll
Taven
be fine.
will be wagging, and
Mhm.
It's true.
definitely because I'm picking a lot of songs that I know he would like.
I am
Nice.
so excited. I am so
So
excited.
yeah,
And Barely, are
be
you
fun.
excited for Get Out the Float?
I am excited for a nice local con that we don't have to drive 18 hours to get
Yeah,
to.
that's nice. And you
And,
like Seaside.
And I like Seaside. It's a fun town, and so we'll be having a good time there, October 27th through the 30th. Now, going on this very weekend, as this episode airs, is Denver,
Air on
where
caution.
of course, where Pepper Cody will
Will
not
not
be, and that's at the Sheridan Denver Downtown Hotel. If you're going to go to see him there, don't go because he's not going
you'll
to
be
be there.
disappointed.
Right. Also, this weekend in Latvia is the Unicon.
There's
at
only
the
one of them.
international. There's only one in Latvia, so it's the Unicon. Of course, they could be horny. They have a horn sticking out as a unicorn. At the International Exhibition Center in Riga, Latvia. Now, coming up in the future, next weekend, August 24th to the 28th, is Eurofurence 2022.
No, you're not mine. Okay, that was
in Estrel, Berlin, Germany. Berlin. Also going on in Algonquin Park, Ontario, Canada, is Camp Arrowhawn, which is also known as Camp Farrell 2022. If you don't want to go camping, you don't want to go to Berlin, you can go to Philadelphia.
I'll go to
If you don't want to go to Berlin or go camping, go to Philadelphia 2022 at
That's
this
my only
Sheridan.
choices.
That's your three choices are camping, Berlin, or Philadelphia. Those are your
Only-
three choices.
For my entire
no, you
life,
have a
those are
fourth.
my three choices.
You have a fourth choice. You can go to Indy FurCon in Indianapolis, Indiana, at the Marriott Indianapolis East. I suppose there's probably a Marriott Indianapolis West if there's an East, or there could be a North or a South. Who knows?
I have an important
knows?
question. Am I
Yes.
allowed to eat lettuce at Indy FurCon in the East?
Why would you not be allowed to eat lettuce?
I don't know. I'm just hoping that I am allowed.
You are allowed. You could even eat the devil's lettuce there if you desired.
Oh, that sounds
Mm.
like. Let's move on.
Let's move on to your thing. You have some
I do.
things that you
I
want to
have
talk about.
Three jokes,
Three jokes.
which you might have
okay.
heard before, but I have three jokes that I
It's
want
very
to
possible.
do. Rayne, are you okay with this? Me doing three jokes?
Yeah, three is good.
It's good. Okay, so first one. So Andy Brown had no ears, and he was very self-conscious about this. And whenever he would interview a future employee, he would ask him, or her, or them, "What do you notice different about me?" If the employee that would mention his lack of ears, which they often did, it would be no job, sorry. But if the employee would mention something else, anything else, like that popsicle over there, he would hire the guy. So it's like, wow, this seems like an easy way to get a job. So one year
Mhm.
at the yearly holiday business party, Andy approached Tim Johnson, which was his most recent hire, and asked him if he remembered the last question he had asked him when interviewing him for the job. Tim Johnson said, "Oh, well, sure I do. You asked me what was different about you, and I said that you were wearing contact lenses. And he says, well, so of all the things to answer, why was that the thing that you noticed? Well, to be honest, Tim Johnson said, it was quite simple. How could you possibly be wearing glasses if you don't have any ears? So that's number one.
That's number one. Uh-huh.
Maybe maybe that was the best one. Maybe I should have ended on that, but we'll see how it goes. So let's do
Okay.
a poll. We'll do all three and see which one both of you, Rayne and Barely, think are best. And then all you furs write it in and let us know which of these three do you think is best. Audience participation. So number 2, the crusty old Navy Master Chief noticed a new face and went over and yelled at him, "Get over here! What is your name, sailor?" "John," the new recruit replied. "Look, so I don't know what they're teaching you in boot camp these days, but I don't call anyone by their first name." The chief scowled. "It spawns familiarity, and that leads to a breakdown in authority. I refer to sailors by their last names only. Smith, Jones, Baker, Jackson, whatever. And you are to refer to me as Master Chief. Do I make myself clear?" "Aye, aye, Master Chief," John says. "Now that we've got that straight, what is your last name?" The new recruit sighed and said, "Darling. My name is John Darling, Master Chief." "Okay, John, here's what I want you to do."
Oh, I get it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I get it. I was like, wait, waiting for it. Wait. Oh,
wait. Okay, got it.
sorry. That's like, okay. That was good, actually.
It's a thinker.
It's a thinker.
Okay.
Not a stinker, but a thinker.
Numero tres, which is
Trace.
French for cow. It's not really, but...
It's not, no.
So, late one evening, a Marine pulled into a little town only to find that every hotel was taken. When he finally got to the last hotel, he pleaded to the manager, "You've got to have a room somewhere, or just a bed, or I don't know, a couch? I don't care." "Well, I do have a double room with one occupant right now. He's a Navy guy, and he might be glad to split the cost with you, but to tell you the truth, he snores very loudly, so people even in adjoining rooms have complained in the past about how loud he is. I'm not sure that it would actually be worth it for you." The tired Marine said, "No problem, I will take it." The next morning, the Marine came down to breakfast, bright-eyed and bush-tailed. "How did you sleep?" asked the manager. "Never better. Oh, so good. It's like almost the best sleep of my life." The manager was impressed. "No problem with the other guy snoring?" "Nope. I shut him up in no time," said the Marine. The manager was so curious. "How did you manage that?" "Well, he was already in bed snoring away when I came into the room. I went over, gave him a kiss on the cheek, and said, 'Good night, beautiful.' And after that, he sat up all night watching me." And that is number 3.
Okay.
So, Barely and
well,
Rayne, what's it? 1, 2, or 3? What is it?
It's almost a tie between 2 and 3 for me.
There you go.
I'd have to say number 2 because it took me a while to get it.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
jokes that make me think and I get it after the fact tend to sit with me better.
Nice.
So,
You're not going to forget
yes.
that.
No,
No, there
I'm
you
not,
go.
darling. No, I'm
Cool.
not. No.
Very cool. So all you
No.
furs write in and let us know 1, 2, or 3. Maybe I'll
1, 2,
we
or
should
3.
also post a poll in the BFFT chat. and
Well, you
find
can
out.
post the poll when this drops on August 20th.
I will write a note because that's a little
Right,
ways away.
because you will forget. I know. That's 10 days away. 10 days away. Okay. Well, you know what? Normally this would be our math section or our story section. And Tabin today sent me a message and said, "Hey, Barely, why don't you do something with
Did
math
I?
this week?" You did.
Okay.
And you did. You put that in the notes, actually.
I?
You said, you did. You said, "Barely, do math."
Did I?
And I did. I took it out because I put my math stuff in there.
Oh,
So,
well, it's a good thing that I didn't prepare this big, huge math thing because I totally forgot about that.
did you prepare a big, huge
I
math
did
thing?
not.
Okay, good,
Don't worry.
good. Okay.
This works out so amazingly great. I love this.
Okay. All right. So here are some interesting math facts and tidbits tidbits that I found and I thought would be interesting to talk about. And we can talk about these things, you and I. And here we go. So if you multiply all ones, you will always get a palindromic number as an answer.
This is true.
So like if you multiply 1 times 1, you get 1, which is, of course, a palindrome because it's the
Just
same
one.
forwards backwards. 11 times 11 is 121 or 121. 111 times 111 equals 12321.
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth. If you go up, 1111 times 1111 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc., etc., etc. No matter how high up you go, the numbers will be palindromic.
And you know,
which is
it's
kind of
actually
interesting.
what's really interesting. Well, there's lots of things interesting about that, obviously. But one of the things that's interesting is it's actually not hard to prove. You don't need some
No.
crazy calculus math or anything to prove it. Just some basic knowledge of numbers and stuff. So that's actually pretty interesting too.
It is an interesting thing. So you know what? On a dice, so a dice is actually 2 or more than 2. That's the
Yes.
plural of die, which is 1.
And the plural of sheep is sheep.
That's true. And the plural of squirrel is squirrels. Just in case you wanted
And
to know.
the plural of barely is amazing, awesome bear.
Fat. It's fat. That's what it is. The plural of the barely is
So
fat.
all
That's
you
what that
first
is.
write in,
So-
which one do you think the plural of barely is? Fat or amazing, wonderful, amazing bear?
Yes. Okay. So if you look at a die, there's
If
6 sides.
you look at a die, then you're in a morgue.
Right. So there are 6 sides on a die,
Yes.
but the opposite sides of the die always add up to 7.
Oh, okay. So
So,
1, 2, 3, 4, it goes around clockwise. It's just opposites may add up to 7. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very simple. Yeah. So we talked before about numbers and letters and things like that. So every
Letters.
odd number, when written in English, contains the letter E.
Oh, did not know
Did you
that.
know
I
that?
did not know that.
You
Are
didn't
there
know
even
that, yeah.
numbers that have the letter E? Is it restricted to odd numbers? 2,
6,
4.
8. No, E. 8
6,
has an E.
8
in it.
has an E. Okay, but
Yeah.
every odd number for sure
every
does.
odd number,
Okay.
but every even number does not. Now, here's an interesting fact. You've played with a deck of cards, I'm sure, right?
I threw it at the mailman.
Okay. So if you count up the number of letters.
You both you and Rayne were like, I didn't even flinch.
Okay. No, because we never know what you're throwing at the mailman or at the turkeys or at the spiders
Oh my cow.
or
Or the
all the
bat.
things
We're used
around
to
your
it.
house.
Yes.
Yes, we're used to it. If you count up the numbers of letters in the 13 different playing cards, so you spell them out: ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king. If you count all the letters in those words, you get its 52 letters.
No, you don't. Really?
Yes, you do.
Because that
Yes.
number 52 is special because
Because that's the number of cards in a deck of cards.
I wonder if they
So,
did that on purpose.
I don't think so. I think it's just one of those
Coincidence things.
those funny little coincidence.
You are a funny
coincidentally.
little coincidence.
I am. So did you know that the number 18, we're talking about math tidbits here, number 18 is the only number that is twice the sum of its digits.
The only one in the world.
Only one in the world. That's right.
100 isn't.
So,
1 isn't.
nope.
Negative
Nope, only 18.
52,000.629 isn't.
Well, it might be, but we know that 18 is the only one that actually is.
Okay.
But I mean, if you came up with some strange numbers and some strange Tabin math, you might come up with a different way of doing this.
Did you know
Who
that there
knows?
are things called the surreal numbers?
They are surreal. No, that's what you put in a bowl when you have breakfast. Surreal numbers. That should be the name of a breakfast cereal.
Surreal numbers. There you go.
Surreal
There
numbers.
you go. You know what, okay, that's up to your next task, Barely, is to make this a thing, make it a cereal, and sell it
Make it a
with
cereal.
your new book, Sand in My Fur. It'll come as a
Sand in
package
my
deal.
fur. Yes. A package of a book and surreal numbers. All right.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
So the word 100, you mentioned 100 before, comes from the Old Norse word hundrath, which actually represents 120, not 100. So that's kind of odd that they would have done that.
So does that
And-
mean it has the letter E since it's odd?
It probably does, yes. In France, we're going back to France now, a pie chart is referred to as a camembert.
Isn't
Chart.
so? It's a cheese.
It's a cheese chart. I mean, in America, it's pie. In France, it's cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A camembert chart.
Camembert.
Rayne is going to argue with me on this little tidbit, so we're going to have a little
Let's
discussion.
have a
Not so much
controversy.
argue
It's about time.
as just expand.
It's about time we have
Expand.
more remember when we had controversy before on the show? It's time for more controversy.
Marge controversy.
Oh, no.
So Jiffy is an actual unit of time.
And it's also a
A
lube.
co-
It's like
it's also a lube.
Cars
Ye-
do it.
yes.
It for your car. And if you want to talk about a different kind of lube, listen to my other podcast. Now, Jiffy means 1/100th of a second, or so says the advertisement that I read this on.
So
Yes.
it depends on what your point of view is, or your reference for this. So in like electronics, Jiffy is the period of alternating current power cycle. So 1/60th or 1/50th, depending on where your mains power supplies are. In computing, Jiffy was originally the time between 2 ticks of the system timer interrupt.
Like a
It's
fillet.
not an absolute. Yeah, it's not an absolute time interval unit, since its duration depends on the clock interrupt frequency of the particular hardware.
Clock
platform.
interrupt frequency.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
And then early microcomputer systems, such as the Commodore 64 and many game consoles.
that is old school cow.
Yes, the old school. That's my first computer, a Commodore
Oh
64.
my cow.
Had standard vertical frequency of either 59.94 hertz for NTSC or 50 for PAL.
That definitely
values
hurts
for-
me.
Yes. So Jiffy values for various Linux versions of the platforms have typically varied between 1 millisecond and 10 milliseconds, with 10 milliseconds reported as an increasingly common standard in the
Oh
jargon
my
file.
cow. The
Wow.
nerd
And
CEUs are
And
increasing.
then
there's
Wow.
also Stratus VOS uses the Jiffy at 1/165,563 seconds.
Wow, that's specific.
Yes, to
Wow.
express the date and time. So the number
Huh.
of Jiffies elapsed since the 1st of January 1980 at 0000 Greenwich
Oh
Mean Time.
my cow.
Stratus also defines the micro Jiffy as being 1/65,536th of a regular Jiffy. And
Wow.
Yes.
Of a
And
regular
then
Jiffy.
also, Jiffy is also the interval
Popcorn.
used for popcorn. It's also the interval used in computer animation method of defining playback rate, with the delay interval between individual frames specified as 1/100th of a second. So 10 milliseconds Jiffies, particularly in Autodesk Animator, .fli sequences were animated, and CompuServe GIF images,
CompuServe.
all were 1/100th of a second in between the frames.
Wow.
And then the very last thing,
Yes.
the speed of light and vacuum
Oh my.
provides a convenient universal relationship
God.
between the distance. So in physics, particularly in quantum physics and often in chemistry, a Jiffy is defined as the time taken for light to travel some specified distance. In astrophysics and in quantum physics, a Jiffy is defined by Edward R. Harrison as the time it takes for light to travel 1 Fermi, which is approximately the
One
size
Fermi.
of a nucleon. So 1 Fermi
Wow.
is 10 to the 15th power
Okay.
meters. So a Jiffy is about 3 times 10 to the 24 seconds.
Wow. And I know one other
Yes.
point of view of Jiffy. It's when you have a tiny, tiny, tiny jar of peanut butter, it's a Jiffy.
Yes. That's Jif. Because it's too small for the iffy.
It's that would be very iffy if you were going to go that route. That was my
Yes.
nerdy pup earsies. just
Choosy
went
mothers, choose
crazy.
Jiffy. Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. Welcome to Barely Furcasting featuring science.
And nerd.
We have nerd.
Because science.
Because
Because
Kyle-
aliens. Yeah.
Now
Because
Kyle is
aliens.
gonna sue us for using his catchphrase.
What about
Yes.
Dolly Parton?
She is not Jiffy.
Oh,
No.
okay, good. Making
She
sure.
is not Jiffy.
Nothing about her is Jiffy.
No, she is largely not Jiffy.
Did you know? Well, yes, you did know. We talked about this before. What? Okay,
Yes.
so trivia for both of you first,
Yes.
and all you first
Yes.
out there, participation stuff. So, let me phrase this as: what song is most not correctly attributed to the correct singer, who is Dolly Parton?
Oh, isn't it Jolene?
I don't even know that song, but no.
Oh.
I've heard this before, but
I Will Always Love You.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Because every, like, you've got all these amazing like renditions, and I think they think Aretha Franklin was the originator, and they also think that Whitney Houston was the originator, but it was Dolly Parton. So all you first,
Yep.
so many.
Yep.
There are so many CEUs earned right now.
Right, and she
Indeed. My mama raccoon was a very big
Dolly fan?
Dolly Parton fan. Yes,
Ah.
I listened to a lot of Dolly Parton growing up when I was a little
well,
raccoon.
she wrote that for Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Oh yeah,
I Will Always
yes.
Love You, as was the song Hard Candy Christmas, which was not a Christmas song at all.
What was it? Was it a hard candy?
It was a hard candy. It was like, so what she was talking about, and so they play it at Christmas time all the time, but it's not a
Mhm.
Christmas song.
It's not.
Because in the movie and in the play, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, she's singing about how the whorehouse has been shut down by the whatever, and so she's going to go out and do other things. And she's saying that it's just like being at a hard candy Christmas. And a hard candy Christmas term meant that you were so poor, the only gifts you got were hard candies.
Oh, Jolly Ranchers and things.
Yeah, so that's what a hard candy
Typically
Christmas
ribbon
is.
candy.
Ribbon candy,
Ribbon
yeah.
candy is the preferred Christmas candy for hard
It's
candy
also
Christmas.
the preferred candy for frogs.
Yes,
right.
the ribbit candy.
Um,
So
Ribbit, ribbon.
my grandma always had a bowl of ribbon candy out and we lived in New Jersey. So
Mine
it's
too.
very humid in New Jersey. So the bowl of candy was just, you could literally pick it up out of the bowl and it was just the whole bowl all stuck
Yep.
together in one big
one
clump.
of those big
My
clumps.
grandmother did the same thing.
Yep.
You know what someone should do then is, for like the ultimate, quote unquote, ultimate Christmas movie, they should have a hard, what's it called? What do you just say? It's Candy Christmas.
Hard candy Christmas.
They should have Hard Candy Christmas playing continuously in the background of Die Hard, and that would be the ultimate Christmas movie.
the Die Hard Candy Christmas.
Die Hard Candy
Candy
Christmas.
Christmas. That's a mosh up that I'd like to see.
That because you know Die Hard
Yeah.
is the ultimate Christmas show. So
It is
Yes.
the ultimate Christmas movie.
Well, there's a lot of argument as to whether it's a Christmas movie or not. You know,
well, I mean,
that's we have an
One of my
entire
favorites.
episode. It's we have an entire episode about that. Anyway, Tabin, I think it's time we, unless you've got something else, I think it's time we end our
I
show.
better not have anything else, or else that would make every fur go crazy and go run away, and they would sing "Mana Mana" and New York, big city dreams, and everything in New York and everyone. And my Segway is rolling around because I'm white and nerdy, and I don't. Okay, bye. I hear the sound of the closing music, so let's go with that.
That's right. We need to say goodbye to our listeners. I mentioned I'll be on vacation next week. So Tabin, your guest co-host will be, of course, who?
Renegade Roo, our very own Renegade Roo. You furs all know him. You all love him. We've had him on the show as a guest a few times, but
Yep.
he's actually going to be co-hosting with me next week. So stay tuned. It'll be exciting
Stay
to
tuned next
catch
week.
up with
It'll be-
Roo, the
Be
bunny.
very excited to hear that show.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
So until 2 weeks from today, from me, I say Moobarkfluff and stay furry. Tabin, say goodbye to our guests.
Goodbye to our guests. And
Thank you.
your guess is as good as mine when I say thank you all you first for listening, we love you so much for doing so. I say this all the time, but it means a lot to us. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun talking to each other, educating you, making you maybe
And there
a
was
little
a
bit
lot of education tonight. There was a lot of education.
We love
Yes.
making you seasick every week because I know that's got to be what this show does to you. So thank you for that. And until
Okay.
until we'll see Barely in a few weeks, but until next week when we chat with the wonderful Roo Bunny, I say Moobarkfluff, bark bark, stay furry, and have a wonderful week.
Barely Furcasting is an Injured Nerve studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms or can be heard directly at barelyfurcasting.com. The opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and their guests, and no commercial compensation was granted. The Furcast is produced, recorded and directed by Barely Normal, aka Mike Began, and is edited by Barely and our associate editor Rayne Raccoon. Opening and closing theme music, as well as some interstitial music, was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by Reg Day with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Reg Day, you can search for Tweezerbeak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music by Shane Ivers through silvermansound.com, Gator Tots on soundcloud.com, and the YouTube Free is Library. Social media presences is maintained by Ziggy the Mean Weasel. Transformation Station is written and directed by Lux Operon with Rayne Raccoon and is edited by Rayne Raccoon. If you would like to send us a message, you can do so via email at barelyfurcasting@gmail.com or on our Telegram chat at BFFTchat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the barelyfurcasting.com webpage. You can help support the show through donations at ko-fi.com/barelyfurcasting or through Patreon at patreon.com/barelyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.